Welcome back to Cardinal Territory. It is our 69th episode. Shout out Chip Carey. I'm your host, Katie Wu. We are recording this Wednesday night from Busch Stadium. You'll see it Thursday morning. After taking game one of the three-game series against the Washington Nationals 4-2 on Tuesday, behind 5 innings of two-run ball from Sonny Gray, St. Louis fell 8-2 tonight, setting up a pivotal rubber match on Thursday evening. And as much as I try not to be the dramatic the sky is falling kind of girl, it really feels like Thursday is a must-win game. Tonight's game was not great. Andre Palante gave up a 3-run homer to Nathaniel Lowe in the top of the first, and it just felt over from there. It didn't help that the Cardinals were facing off against Mackenzie Gore, the budding ace for the Nationals, who, yes, you guessed it, is left-handed. In fact, we asked Ollie Marmol after the game what made Mackenzie Gore so good and so effective against his ball club, and Ollie said he's left-handed. No lies were told. The Cardinals have really struggled against southpaws over the last month or so, and that kind of goes into their various players that they have out. We'll get into all the injury updates later, but it just was not a competitive ball game, and in July, the Cardinals have had a ton of those. Look, the games in Pittsburgh, the 3-game sweep, were semi-close, 2 of them, but it's hard to really say that they were competitive games when you don't score in any of them. So you have the Pittsburgh series in which the Cardinals go scoreless for 3. You go and you lose 2 out of 3 at Wrigley, and those 2 losses were just egregious, not close at all. And then you come here against a Nationals team that fired both their general manager and their manager ahead of the series, just days before they had the number 1 pick in the amateur draft on Sunday and weeks before the trade deadline. You see their overall record, which is right there with the Rockies and the Marlins, amongst the worst in the National League. And you think, okay, this is a team that we should be able to take care of business against. And they just were not able to do that tonight. So now your fate lies within Miles Mikolas, who's coming off a really bad start in Wrigley. And you just really feel like this is such a pivotal series. When you think about how the messaging has been framed for July, we know how important this month is. We know that the Cardinals trade deadline picture is going to hinge on their success here. So I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like Thursday's game it's a must-win game. So in order to win games, you're going to have to pitch a lot better than the Cardinals have been doing. Over their last turn through the rotation, Cardinal starting pitchers have allowed 22 earned runs in their last 23 and a third innings pitched. If you're watching this on YouTube, that says 23 and a half. That's not a stat. It's supposed to be 23 and a third innings pitched. Either way, not good. I'm going to fix this because it's bothering me. Not good. That's not what you want from your rotation. And I thought Palante was kind of a microcosm of the issues for the rotation overall. We know that this is not a starting pitching staff that packs a lot of swing and miss, okay? It was never advertised as that. We know this. For a very long time, in April, May, and sometimes early June, St. Louis was able to get away with that. What we're seeing now is the gamble that you make when you have a predominantly pitch-to-contact rotation. You're going to have balls that get through and days where your pitchers get hard. Ollie Marmol said it best, you live and die with the hard contact. That's exactly what happened to Palante today. He threw nearly 30 fastballs, did not generate a single swing and miss on one of those fastballs. Didn't really have the curveball, which had looked really good his last 3 starts. Definitely wasn't as sharp tonight. And that just allowed the opponents, to really catch up to the fastball and be very selective with it. And you saw it with the types of swings they took in the first inning and the 4th inning. So I asked him, is living by the ground ball and the contact rate kind of what can explain the absurd amount of earned runs from the rotation in this last turn? And he acknowledged that, yeah, maybe it could when you have guys like Miles Mikolas and Erick Fedde, who we discussed last episode. It was a little aggressive of me. Just hadn't had it. Sonny Gray has swing and miss, and he did a nice job getting through 5 on Tuesday. And Libby is a little bit of a hybrid. He has swing and miss, but definitely uses the ground ball contact to his advantage. When you have a staff like that lives and dies by uncontrollable things like where the ball is put in play, you have outings like Palante's today. It's coming at a time, the starting pitching collapse, if you will. The collapse is strong. The starting pitching inefficiencies, it's coming at a time where the Cardinals really could not afford it. The offense is not clicking. They needed the starting pitching to be their anchor. Now things are kind of just, here we are. I don't want to say falling apart again because I'm not trying to be the dramatic girl. I don't have Bernie to walk me down or talk me down from the ledge. But It's really hard to feel optimistic about this team right now as we're 9 days into July. Knowing how important the rest of the month is, I've yet to really see signs that they're going to come out of this. But maybe with some key hitters looking to come back soon, they will. I don't know. Let's find out. We'll get into it. First, though, a message from Arena Club.
Hey, let's do a little player spotlight thanks to Arena Club. AJ, give me a player this season that you think is underrated and you might want to try and grab his card.
James Wood. I don't know that he's underrated, but Washington Nationals superstar in the making, and the first slab pack I ever opened had him in it. His rookie card, and the value is only going to go up and up and up. And I'm not going to sell it quite yet, Scott. I'm going to hold on to it because after he continues to hit big homers and put up the stats, make all-star teams, it's going to get more expensive for someone to buy for me.
This is his first full season in the majors. Keep that in mind. I think he's underrated. He's on a Nationals team that's meh. Not getting enough attention.
He might hit underrated 40 homers. When he makes the All-Star team this year, they're not going to be underrated.
That helps. He's been intentionally walked 4 times in a game. Anyway, if you want to try and find a Wood rookie card, go check out slab packs on Arena Club. And right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack, or if you just want to go with a card purchase, go to arenaclub.com/FOUL. Use code FOUL. If you buy, sell, trade, collect, go for it.
Okay, talk about James Wood. Did you guys hear how loud that home run was today? I mean, that left the bat from John King at almost 116 miles per hour. And it just kind of woke me up from my seat. I was like, oh my God, that was some really loud contact. James Wood, certified stud. I am looking forward to watching him partake in the home run derby. It's cool, quick side rant, to see. I'm not by any means suggesting the Nationals as an organization to model yourself after, but they have such a fun core of guys like James Wood, Mackenzie Gore, CJ Abrams. And that is a core that you can get excited about. Whether or not the Nationals have the right people in ownership in place to actually turn that core into something is a different story. But it's fun to see a core really coming into their own and maybe being that next potential wave of talent. It reminds me of something that I would like to see more from the Cardinals. Definitely some key pieces, but I don't really know if anyone's jumped out to Mackenzie Gore or James Wood status, not just yet. So you can come talk ball with us on Chat BCC at foulterritory.chat. We're hanging with fans, answering questions, hosting trivia, and running giveaways like 2 free MLB tickets up to a $400 value and a free MLB jersey of your choice. Got a hot take or a burning question? Drop it in the chat. We might even feature it on the show. It's free to join. Go to foulterritory.chat and come hang. Moving on. Let's get to some injury updates, some good news. Iván Herrera is set to start a rehab assignment, we believe, with AAA Memphis tomorrow, so Thursday. And that is just all around fantastic news when you think about the prognosis. His initial window, he was given 2 to 6 weeks, which is very large and very big on purpose. So Herrera really feels like, talking to Ollie Marmol and talking to Herrera a little bit on Tuesday, had a really good week at Busch Stadium while the team was on the road, is in good health, ready to start this rehab assignment. The timing about this is a little tricky because he'll start on July 10th, and then he'll play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, similar to the Major League team, both Memphis and Springfield are off for 4 games for the All-Star break. So we will have a designated break in that rehab assignment. What that means going forward for Herrera, if he'll need a couple more games after that, remains to be seen. Certainly not ideal because I don't know if anyone has noticed, but the Cardinals have really missed Iván Herrera's bat in the lineup, which is a crazy sentiment because, and this is no knock on Herrera, but if you would have told me that he would have had the most impactful bat on this in the lineup in 2025, I would have been like surprised because he's always been like bat first, but I would have been like the most impactful hitter. He's the most impactful hitter on this Cardinals team, but he is. So obviously getting him back, especially at a time where the offense is struggling and guys have not really figured out a way to combat the left-hander, that's going to mean a lot. We just don't know what that timeline looks like. And hamstrings are tricky. They're very finicky. The break in between with no games and no game action does not help at all. But the good news is he will be starting that rehab assignment tomorrow. Another right-handed hitter that you all have many questions about is Jordan Walker. So he's checked every box from a rehab and health standpoint. Coming back from appendicitis, he has no lingering side effects. All in good health there, so you love to hear that. What the Cardinals are working on Jordan Walker now is ensuring he's in a good place from a physical and mental approach to return to the lineup and be an impactful hitter. That's why he is spending the majority of his rehab with Double-A Springfield. I think I touched on this the last episode. Springfield has the best facilities amongst Cardinals minor league affiliates. Players talk about it all the time. If they're going to go on a rehab assignment, they'd rather go to Springfield because they like the facilities there. And Jordan Walker has a really good relationship with minor league hitting coordinator Russ Steinhorn. So those two things allow Jordan, who, hate to say it, just he's been disappointing this year from an offensive standpoint. This will allow Jordan some extra time in a non-competitive environment to just get his swing right. Because similar to Herrera, if the Cardinals want to produce, especially against left-handers, they're going to need that right-handed bat that they were counting on Walker being for them this year. And there's no use rushing him up if the swing and the approach and the mindset does not suggest that he's ready. So take advantage of this unique opportunity if you are the Cardinals and Jordan Walker to reset, because chances are if he was going to come to the majors as soon as he was ready, he was either going to play every day and not be in a good spot about it and the production would show, or he'd be on the bench and it would not allow him this opportunity to continue trying to fine tune and adjust and tweak and make changes, all of the baseball cliches that we say on a daily basis. So those are the two right-handed bats we're looking at. Still no estimated timeline for when they could return, but they are progressing, and I do think it's really encouraging that Herrera is starting that rehab assignment. Nolan Arenado is back in the lineup today, was hopeful to avoid an IL stint. He's played in just 2 games in July, dealing with a sprained right index finger in Pittsburgh and then some shoulder impingement that he felt he got overcompensating because he wasn't really able to grip the bat fully, but was playing through it anyway because of that finger. So some right shoulder bicep impingement that kept him out of the lineup for the last few days, dating back to the Chicago series. He's back today. The Cardinals were going to make a decision on whether or not to put him on the IL. If he was not good to go today, he was going to go on the injured list. But that was not something that Nolan wanted. And usually, just based on the timing of the calendar, with 4 games left into the All-Star break, you would tend to see guys be like, you know what, give me the extra days, give me the rest, so I can take the All-Star break, maybe go on a brief rehab assignment and be ready to go. That is not what Nolan Arenado wanted to do. He'd been lobbying to get back in the lineup since Monday's off day, but was not 100% ready to go on Tuesday, was adamant that he'd be in the lineup today, and he was. I don't think he's super happy about the production today, but definitely helps when you think about what that Cardinals lineup looked like over the last few days. Getting Arenado back will help. Getting Herrera back, hopefully, ideally, the second series after the All-Star break, that'll be important. And then we're going to continue monitoring Jordan Walker. And for the comments in last video that said you need to do your homework, I've obviously looked at the box scores for Jordan Walker and Springfield, and I know it wasn't good. Okay, so relax. We're not worried about the results right now. We're not worried about if he goes 0 for 4 in a Double-A game. We're worried about how he feels about his swing and the fine-tuned things that you're not going to see in a Double-A box score. Thank you very much. All right. I think that's all from the injury updates. Yeah, I think so. Let's hear from Green Chef, and we'll dive into some rotation concerns.
Kratz, we talk about HelloFresh a lot, but in the same fam is another option for you if you're looking to go on your little wellness journey or you're very picky in terms of what you're looking for ingredients-wise. You can go Green Chef this summer.
And I can heat and eat because this summer I've got like 3 days where I'm not doing anything, and sure, those are going to get scheduled with something. Let's give me something super quick that I can heat up. The whole family's eating healthy and they're full.
Menus change weekly, 80-plus dietitian-approved weekly meal options. Green Chef makes it easy to find those meals to fit your lifestyle, so go check it out. FT fam, there is an exclusive offer. Make this summer your healthiest yet with Green Chef. Head to greenchef.com/50territory and use code 50territory to get 50% off your first month, then 20% off for 2 months with free shipping. That's code 50territory at greenchef.com/50territory.
Okay, so the Cardinals have mostly set their rotation heading into the All-Star break. There is just one question mark. Please don't yell at me. The Cardinals will start Michaelis on Thursday. Matthew Liberatore will take a start Friday. Saturday is still penciled in as Erick Fedde, but nothing official. I said don't yell at me. And Sunday will be Sonny Gray. Erick Fedde's rotation status is still in question. The Cardinals have not made a definitive decision on it. They're still weighing all of their options. And I hear the arguments of if Fedde's rotation status should be in question, shouldn't Miles Michaelis? And I don't disagree. But I think the reason why Fedde is being debated more than Miles is because when you look at their last two performances, obviously both weren't great, just not at all. But Miles, from his first 3 innings to his final 3 innings, to me, and this is speculation, suggested that he was tipping his pitches in Chicago. And he went out and fixed it in the 4th inning. And I'm not saying he deserves applause for this, but was able to at least show to his manager, to his pitching coach, that he'd made the adjustments. The lights at the stadium just went off. How scary. Was able to show that and give some sort of optimism that he can get through Thursday's start. Whereas Erick Fedde, when he took the mound on Sunday, you could just tell was not confident about his abilities, was not sure where his pitches were going, was kind of just like hoping his pitches would land and hoping for a good outcome. And that's a really scary place to be as a major league pitcher, when you are on the mound and you know you have no idea where this ball is going. And we talked to him mentally, or we talked about his mental progress and where he was, his mentality after Sunday's game. And he was like, I'd like to say that, that doesn't bother me, but it has. Like it's starting to, these starts are essentially starting to pile up on Erick Fedde, where he's now pitching where he's hoping to do well instead of going out there and attacking. And to me, that just suggests a starting pitcher needs a break. And look, I really like Erick Fedde. I think he's been a total pro this whole time. He's taught me a lot. I've enjoyed covering him. Same with Miles Michaelis. But when you're a pitcher and you just feel like you can't trust your stuff and the body language shows it on the mound, you can't take your next start. And I'm not saying he needs to be kicked out of the rotation forever, though some of you are. I am saying you have such a unique opportunity with the calendar right now where you can skip his next start and just get to the All-Star break and reassess from there. Michael McGreevy is eligible to be recalled tomorrow, Thursday, July 10th. He can take your spot start for you on Saturday. And I know that there's going to be some front office dynamics about how many times can we option this guy back and forth before we have to make a decision on him. That's fair. But that is kind of the game that you played when you decided to use him in this role. At some point in this season, you need to see Michael McGreevy an extended period of time in the rotation. If that's not right now, okay, fine. Maybe it's after the trade deadline. Sure. I think Mo suggested that, saying worst case scenario for McGreevy, he's pitching here in August. Okay. If your plan is to, in some way or fashion, pitch McGreevy in a regular major league rotation for the final 2 months of the season, fine. I'm okay with that. But if you are unsure if Erick Fedde can take a start on Saturday and you can call up McGreevy and you need to win these games going into the All-Star break, McGreevy is far and away the better option right now. Again, it doesn't have to be a permanent decision. It can be a spot start and you can reevaluate your rotation after the All-Star break. The Cardinals did that with Sonny Gray. That's why he's pitching on regular rest, because he'll be able to have the Sunday start heading into the All-Star break and reset 4 days, no one's pitching. And then Ollie Marmol and Dusty Blake can retweak the rotation as needed. So just my 2 cents. Hopefully on Thursday, we'll have more answers for you about the rotation. I did ask Ollie today, hey, so we're not asking you the same question every single day. Do you have an idea on when you will make a decision about Saturday's starter? And he said he did not. Too many conversations need to be taken place here. And I will say this disclaimer. Okay, I hate this. The lights are off. Nope, not going to work. I will say this as a disclaimer. I'm so scared. Excuse me. Ollie Marmol only controls who's on his roster. When he gets them, he doesn't control the roster decisions. That is a John Mozeliak and company decision. So I'm going to end this episode because I am totally freaked out that the lights are off. I'm sure you all understand. Bernie and I will be back with you later in the week to preview the Braves. And then Sunday night, we will have draft coverage. Cardinals have the number 5 overall pick. If you're looking for some names to target, we have it up on The Athletic, broke some things down with The Athletic's Keith Law on 5 names the Cardinals could target. And yes, I put Ethan Holiday on there, even though the odds are slim to none. All right, that's it from Cardinal Territory. I'm out of here before a ghost kidnaps me. Talk to y'all later. See ya.